century. And this is how the web looked like just 10 years ago. It was uninviting, flat, slow downloads, and basically, we just went there to find information, retrieve it, and then go out. Let's go back to the 21st century. Well, oh, I think the time machine is just broke, because the mobile web experience of 2009 is just too similar to the web experience of 1999. But then some will say, well, leave web, let's just browse directly to the web through our mobile devices, and would say, here's iPhone, the best mobile web experience out there. Well, not according to iPhone users, nor according to all the major web publishers who have taken the trouble of packaging their services as an iPhone applications. And you need to understand the App Store has changed the rules of the game. With discovery and distribution that keeps app one click away from you, with a developer environment that lowered the barrier for developer to where small-time developer can, with a little cost, create engaging services. With user experience apps that are engaging and are inviting to work with, all created the iPhone and App Store phenomenon, 50K apps, over 1 billion downloads, and 400 million ecosystem over the last 2 years. And the most amazing thing, on a platform that only has 2% of the mobile market. So you're going to ask, well, where's the rest of the mobile market? They're chasing after iPhone. And all of them are trying now to introduce their own version of an app store, which is good for consumers because the distribution and discovery are made easier. But from the developer perspective, nothing was solved. OS and device fragmentation, static apps that doesn't really relate to the dynamic nature of the web, and huge porting costs. But what if? What if creating rich mobile application would take weeks instead of months? What if I could write my application once and have it run on all major platforms? What if I could make changes in the background with no need to redistribute and have the customer re-download my client? Well, introducing Celerium Mobile Canvas, where you can wrap up your web service as a mobile app, write it once and deploy it to all major app stores, design iPhone-like rich UI, reuse all your backend services without having to double your business logic into a fat client. Update your app without a need to a client update. And most importantly, get your app to market in weeks rather than in months. So what are we all about? We are about enabling the mobile app world. How? By freeing the developer's imagination and helping them give the consumers the services and the application that they want. And at this stage, let the applications do the talking while I take questions from the panel.
Very nice. I hear what you're saying about one platform, to rule them all, and you develop once, and it goes to all of the platforms. And I think that you're touching on a big problem in the mobile world, which is fragmentation. But when I look at, Apple and RIM and all those guys, those are very strong brand names, and they have marketing, and they have brand recognition, and they have huge reach. This wonderful thing that you've developed, how are you going to reach out and attract those developers? It seems to me like not a trivial task.
Well, it's not a trivial task, but when there's a need, there's a want. And I think that the need is great, and the need would become even greater when App Store would basically become, would be released on all major phone done by one of the major phone makers. So, mobile developers, web developers, social media, we just seen the strength of social media, blogs. I think that if it's a solution that delivers the promise, like we believe that we do, the developers will flock to use it. What other alternatives they have?
My question is basically, obviously, mobile web content is much cheaper than mobile applications. It would be much cheaper to create than mobile applications. So how are you dealing with the same budgetary limitations?
I'm not sure I fully understood the question. I mean, mobile content is something that usually can be delivered via a mobile service or a mobile app. And we basically enables the developers to create the services that can deliver the content.
With lower costs? Or?
With much lower costs. I mean, think of what is happening today. You want to develop a mobile platform, you develop for an N95, just to find out that now you have to port, and port again. Most guys would not go for this hustle. I mean, they can't. Most of the web services are not making a lot of money. And mobile is just out of reach for most web developers today.
How do you make money?
Sorry?
What is your revenue model?
How do you make money?
What's the revenue model? Well, as Gary said, we want to basically lower the barrier of entry. So developing on our platform would be free. And then we will charge minimal hosting costs to run the applications on our hosting platform, and charge for value-added services like charging, analytics, billing, location-based, and advertising.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about how are you going to market it? Is it more of the off-deck strategy, or are you going to the major players?
If you mean major players by carriers or major players by major web?
Both.
So initially, we believe that in order to build confidence in our brand and in our service, we need to get some major names on our platform. We've started this in Israel, and we hope to be able to take it to the US as well. But we don't believe in selling to carriers. Long sales cycles, long decision time, and as someone told me, they pay Shotef plus 300. Sorry, not planned. But then we believe that the open platform, once we get some brand names on our platforms and demonstrate the capabilities, this would be a proof point that would get developers on top of our platforms as well.
I guess from my perspective, it's interesting for me to find out whether you're going to be using social media in order to market yourselves.
Definitely, we will. I mean, there's no question that the developer world is basically revolving around few influential blogs and few basically market makers, and social media would definitely be the way to go. We also believe that it would be a kind of a friend tells a friend. I mean, someone would see that his friend ported his service using our platform, and they follow suit.
Again, a question about marketing. Do you expect that whoever developed the application will take charge of the marketing, or are you going to do it with some kind of an app store of your own, or both?
We definitely don't believe in creating an app store of our own. We do believe in creating relationship with the major app stores. So application created within our platform would have a smoother way into the app store. I think it's crazy to try to create your own brand of an app store with all those brand name guys basically launching their own app stores. But I think that the app store is a great thing for us because it's actually solved the issue of discovery and distribution.